Welcome to the Hoop Collective. We talk about the NBA. Joining me from down the street here in Boston at the TD Garden is Tim Bontemps.
Hello, guys.
And joining me from Dallas is the one, the only Ben MacMahon.
Howdy, partners.
So LeBron James, as he likes to do, is interested in maybe snatching a little bit of the attention when he's not playing in the finals. And there's been some trailers coming out and some clips of his upcoming The Shop show, where he talks about wanting to own a team that plays in Las Vegas in the future. And then he just in case it wasn't viral enough, he tweeted out the clip with the tweet speaking it into existence. LeBron, we've known for a while, endeavors to be the owner of an NBA team. He recently was called a billionaire by Forbes magazine. I actually think he's been worth $1 billion for quite some time. But he's not worth a liquid billion. He's not going to be able to say, oh yeah, here is 10 figures. Here you go. He is probably, who knows, maybe he dumps a bunch of money in cryptocurrency and it quadruples and he can write a check for a team, but he's most likely going to buy a team as part of be the face of a conglomerate for many reasons. But that process is absolutely underway. And, he is associated with Fenway Sports Group, which is why he has previously had shares in the Liverpool Football Club. He recently swapped those shares out within Fenway Sports Group. They also own the Boston Red Sox, and they just recently bought the Pittsburgh Penguins. But he now is a shareholder of the Boston Red Sox.
Lifelong Yankees fan.
And recently, the Oakview Group, which is an arena operator and builder, I believe they just opened an arena in Austin, Texas. They operate and pretty much rebuilt the entire Key Arena, which is now Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. And they are building what do they call that in Las Vegas, Bontemps? The Sphere or the Dome or whatever?
I think it's called the Sphere. Yeah, I think.
So they recently announced in Las Vegas that they are building a new arena on Las Vegas Boulevard, south of the airport, if you know Vegas at all. And now we have LeBron talking about wanting to own a team in Las Vegas. It is sort of out there in the wind that Fenway Sports Group has interest in having an expansion team in the NBA. Maybe it'll be in Vegas, maybe it'll be in Seattle, maybe it'll be in an unnamed city. But this is, I don't know how realistic it is, but Bontemps, LeBron is making it clear he wants this to happen. And sometimes, LeBron has the ability to get action. This would be a pretty giant move, but LeBron is showing us the roadmap of what he wants to do.
Yeah, this is going to happen. I think it's just a matter of when it's going to happen. We've talked a bunch about expansion. Expansion is going to happen at some point. I asked Adam Silver about it 2 years ago. He said, we're looking at it. And then everyone in the NBA league office immediately panicked. And ever since then, they've said, we're not looking at it. We're not talking about it. We're not thinking about it. But it's very clear that at some point, and Silver has since said, we're going to expand at some point. But they're at 30 teams. Makes a lot of sense to get to 32 teams. Adam's talking all the time about midseason tournaments, cups. Well, we know from the NCAA tournament, MacMahon could do the math.
Even those brackets up.
That's right. All right, down to one. So I certainly think.
I mean, that's not why they would expand, but that's
no. But
it's a little side benefit.
It's a benefit, and it's at 32 is a round number. You get 16 teams at both conferences, and you get into two more markets. Seattle is sitting there to get a team. That's going to happen at some point, and then. There's always been sort of a debate about the second market where it would make sense. Well, in the past several years, we've seen the Raiders go to Vegas and have success. We've seen the Golden Knights go to Vegas and have huge success in the NHL. It's certainly the dominoes are lining up for them to have two teams.
I would say that the Oakview Group, who knows what it's doing, doesn't announce plans to build $1 billion arena without having
No.
an idea of what's
And
going on.
Tim Lewicki has known Adam Silver forever. He was with the MLSE, with the Raptors for a long time. He's built the stuff in Seattle. And the other part of this too is we saw 20 years ago, Michael Jordan bought the Hornets, and the league, I'm sure, would love to have, like they had Michael Jordan buy the Hornets. I'm sure for many reasons, the NBA would love to have LeBron James in an ownership group, either being the sole owner or maybe like Derek Jeter was with the Miami Marlins, where he's like the face of the group. Like, there's no question the NBA would love for that to be the case. It'd be great for them on 100 levels. So I certainly think that this is something that has a very good chance of happening. And Fenway Sports Group has the kind of money, as they've proven with all these other purchases,
Right.
that they can actually have the money to get this done, even at the prices that we're talking about.
Yeah, and sole owner is a stretch.
I won't go into too many details, but there's the money man behind it is a guy named Jerry Cardinale, whose company is called Redbird Capital. But yeah, go ahead, MacMahon. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, sole owner is a stretch. Like, LeBron is ridiculously rich, and able to be the sole owner of buying a team in today's NBA.
Sure.
Like, what if it's an expansion? What's that going to be? 2.5 bill?
I would guess.
We don't know.
Three. I would guess three or more.
Yeah, multi-billion. But I don't have any doubt that LeBron, with all his connections and with as many people who would love to be associated with LeBron, especially in an NBA venture, would be able to put a group together that could raise the money. I have no question.
When I said the sole owner, you're right. Obviously, he's not going to get $4 billion, but he could be the guy who's the not majority owner, but like the lead owner in a group.
Yeah,
right? Where you get a bunch of money and it's like,
he's
hey,
the governor. Where he would be the governor.
Yes,
right.
That's
and I do think if LeBron's going to be involved in something like this, it will be as the governor. Now, one thing I'd be curious about is, would some of his banana boat buddies be involved in this? Chris Paul's made a lot of money.
I don't know.
Carmelo
We have to make a
Anthony.
decision here. Do we want to talk reality, or do we just want to have fun?
Well, I mean,
I think in reality they can be involved, but what's your fun alternative here?
Well, reality is that right now there isn't a real push from the owners to expand. And this is again, it's not as fun. It's more fun to talk about Carmelo and LeBron sitting courtside.
Well,
but
I think it is on the horizon, though. I don't think
let
it's today.
Let me just explain why. Because every NBA owner, there's 30 teams. They all own, essentially, you're a shareholder in the NBA. And while your individual teams have, different value based on your market, you own 3.33% of the NBA. And so when the NBA has a new TV deal, and now it's $3 billion, someday it'll be $9 billion, someday it'll be $25 billion, you get 3% of that. So if you are an NBA team and you say, we're going to admit 2 new teams to the group, you're giving up, a 0.3 or whatever percentage. And you may say, well, big deal. You get a $3 billion check to start off with, but it is a big deal. And here's why. Because right now, NBA teams can borrow money at less percentage than they would benefit from, if a team came in, if 2 teams came in at $3 billion, every team would get a $200 million check. Thank you. I appreciate that $200 million, but I'm giving up a percentage of I'm basically selling an ownership in the league for that $200 million. But if I need $200 million, I can go borrow it because the NBA's credit rating is really good. I can borrow it a lesser percentage. So all of the guys who are the really smart money men who became billionaires because they know how to do percentages, right now it's not an attractive deal to them, especially because there are markets out there where the NBA is sending money to them to keep them afloat. If you're the Los Angeles Lakers and you're the Golden State Warriors, you're like, why should I dilute my shares in my big giant, huge pie here? Why should I dilute my shares while I'm still writing checks to these lesser entities? Why not just move these lesser entities over here? And now I don't have to write them a check, and I also don't have to dilute my shares.
So what you're saying is Jeannie Buss says to LeBron, hey, Love the idea. Go buy the Pelicans and move them to Vegas. You'll have all the picks that we owe for the ADD.
This is again, this is not fun to talk about it like this, but that's the more reality business.
Well,
so I don't disagree with Bontemps that it's going to expand at some point, but I don't think you should be sitting here going, oh, maybe in 2025 we'll have the Seattle Supersonics and they can start to think about how that's going to look.
2025, LeBron's going to be averaging 22, 6, and 6 still.
The other part of it too is that the new TV deal is coming in the next couple of years, and they're not going to do expansion before that's done. So that's the other component. Like we've seen in the past, you do a new TV deal, or when you do a TV deal, when you let these new teams in the league, there's usually a period of several years where they're not getting TV money, where there's like sort of a initiation fee, like it's a country club where you have to, you don't get TV rights, you don't get this other stuff. You have to kind of slowly ease your way in. So that's also a thing that's going to have this not happen tomorrow. And look, LeBron James has still got a few years left as a player. I don't know if it's 3 or 5 or whatever, but he's not retiring tomorrow. So it's probably still in the same timeline for that. But I do think that it's on the horizon that this is going to happen. And I do think at some point LeBron will do it.
I believe LeBron will be the owner or the governor of an NBA team at some point in the future. I just don't know if it's going to be an expansion team in Las Vegas, but Bontemps, you could be right. By the way, here's the other thing. When Michael Jordan got the Charlotte Bobcats, nobody really wanted the Charlotte Bobcats. Bob Johnson, who owned the team, sold the team at a loss. It's the only time it's happened in the modern era of the NBA. He was done with the team. There was a connection. Jordan bought the team with very little down. They basically agreed to a deal for him, knowing he was going to get revenue sharing that was going to keep the team afloat. If there's an expansion team in Vegas, more people than LeBron James's group are going to be able to bid on it.
Well, but the NBA can also just make sure they pick who they want to win too. So
I know, but I'm just saying
LeBron tends to get what he wants, especially.
Okay, but I'm just
Adam
saying
Silver tends to give players what they want.
Adam Silver makes the best money decision.
Well,
always.
LeBron James also has access to a lot of money. And it would make sense to the league in many, many ways to have LeBron James being the face of an ownership group.
I agree. But if LeBron's group is offering X and another group is offering X plus 500 million, good luck selling that to the 30 owners who have to vote on diluting their shares. So anyway, that's not fun. I know I'm not being fun. I'm so sorry. But it is interesting that LeBron is beginning this campaign now. He has a reason for doing it now. It's all planned out. I in general agree with Bontemps that he's probably going to get a team at some point, and it might even be in Las Vegas. But
nothing like wet blanket windy though. Geesh.
Well, LeBron actually had a house in Las Vegas at one point and sold it. And so it was one of the worst ideas he ever had was to buy a house in Las Vegas. So we'll see if he.
I know that
his mind about that.
I can't last more than 3 days in Vegas. So.
All right. Well, thank you for watching Hoop Collective. You can listen to us every Tuesday and Friday normally. But during the finals, we can listen to the Hoop Collective before and after every game. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.